Hey there, and welcome to another Ask Me Anything session with yours truly, your friendly neighborhood book editor. Every week, I do these little Q&A videos to address some questions that you guys have in the comments. I know I can't get back to everyone, so I'm doing my best to hopefully answer some things via these candid videos and give you some more insight on concerns that you have about the publishing journey and writing your book. I also want to give a shout out to my incredible, amazing community of subscribers. We recently surpassed 20,000 and I'm just completely floored by all of the support I've gotten and how we're able to grow this amazing group of aspiring authors and support each other. So thank you to all of you. Most of you have probably already heard me say this a million times, but I'm gonna give the housekeeping rundown for those who might be joining us for the first time. First, if you could hit that thumbs up button for me, that really helps me out and helps my videos reach more people. Also go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're on the fence but haven't already. And if you do have a work in progress, go ahead into the description and download your free story self-assessment worksheet. This is a fun, easy quiz that's going to help you look at your manuscript from a different perspective. Hopefully see things in it that you haven't been able to see on your own, including areas that are working really well and weaker areas that you could improve. Downloading that's gonna sign you up for my newsletter, where I publish exclusive interviews with publishing industry professionals and successfully published authors, so you don't wanna miss out on all of their amazing tips and insights. I also have the link to go straight to the newsletter in the description. Okay, so let's kick things off with the first question today. As a newly aspiring author, I find that I can't fully enjoy reading books anymore because I can't help but compare what I'm reading to the unfinished stuff I've written. It makes me doubt my abilities sometimes and makes me wonder if I'm doing something wrong. How do I stop myself from comparing my journey to finished works or to anything else for that matter? Ooh, this is a really great and important question. First, I'm going to tell you, you are absolutely not doing anything wrong. And it sounds to me like you're experiencing a version of imposter syndrome, where you are seeing all these amazing published authors and you want to join that cohort, but you feel like you can't get there because you're doubting your own abilities. Writers are absolutely the toughest critics of themselves. That's why I have a whole other video that goes into destructive writer habits, because writers are some of the most self-destructive people out there, frankly. I want you to detach from this self-doubt and these feelings of discouragement, but I know how hard it is. What I would tell you to remind yourself of is that what you are reading has gone through so many rounds of revision. I promise you that whichever author you are reading and admiring did not just throw up that draft that you are currently reading and it's somehow this masterpiece. They had several people working with them to create that version of the story. That doesn't mean they're not a good writer by any means on their own or that their raw manuscript wasn't stellar, right? But it means that what you are reading is the result of many drafts, many iterations, so much feedback from different parties, and so much time and energy. And frankly, it is very likely that that author has the same feelings that you do when they read a different author, right? It's really hard for you to see the quality of your own work. So I want you to trust in the process and trust in your abilities as much as you can. Know that a first draft is not meant to be beautiful. It is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be messy and creative and free-flowing. So comparing a first draft to comparing a published book is truly like apples to oranges. Trust yourself that you will get there, especially working with critique partners and beta readers and editors who are all going to help you strengthen your story. And remember that simply reading those other published books is also helping you become a stronger writer. Here's the next question. I was wondering how you send sample pages if you have a prologue. Do you send sample pages of the prologue or just the main story itself? Great question. Because you have decided to begin your story with a prologue, I would send the prologue as the first 10 pages of the manuscript that you're sending to literary agents. Now, the tricky part becomes if the prologue is encompassing the entirety of those 10 pages, right? In that case, I would seriously consider having you either omit the prologue or shortening it, because you want the agent to be able to get a taste of the main narrative in those sample pages. If all they're reading is the prologue, then it doesn't match up with the blurb that you have described, it could lead them to reject your query letter. In general, prologues really should be short and impressionistic. I have another video that goes into do's and don'ts for prologues, so check that out if you haven't already. So it should not ultimately delay our entrance into the main narrative for too long, and that goes especially for your sample pages. If it is only, 2 to 3 pages and then the rest of your sample pages are the main narrative, I would say that's okay. And you would aim for that if you do have a prologue. Here's another question. If an author knows that they want to do a combination of traditional publishing and self-publishing, should they tell their agent before they sign with them? Yes, I would absolutely have this conversation with an agent when you are on that phone call that happens after they have expressed interest in you and you're discussing what a partnership could look like. That's because the agent will otherwise not know that you have other projects that you intend to self-publish, so you definitely want to clear the air and make sure all of that is squared away before you sign with them. I would also caution you to make sure you look deeply into your contracts and make sure that there's no language that says that you have to necessarily work with the literary agent on all of your literary works, right? Because for your self-published works, they would be detached from that process. You also just, more anecdotally, want a literary agent who supports you and your career as an author in all aspects of it, right? And understands why you want to go self-publishing for certain books and traditional for others. There are many examples and more examples these days of hybrid authors who do self-publish some books and traditionally publish other books. So there's definitely a precedent for that, but it is important to set those expectations so that you have a strong partnership with your literary agent from the beginning. We have time for one more question today. I write cozy mysteries and saw a well-known group called Sisters in Crime. What are your thoughts on them or any groups you have to pay for a membership? I've heard a lot of great things about Sisters in Crime, however, I wanted to hear your opinion and or from the viewers. I'm mostly curious if it would be helpful and will be worth the money. I have heard of Sisters in Crime. I can't speak to whether they're worth the money or not because that's definitely a personal decision and I'm not completely familiar with their payment structures and all of their offerings. But I think we can use this question as an opportunity to talk a bit about paid writing groups and organizations overall. First, I want to emphasize that it is not a requirement for you to be in any type of literary organization or group if you don't want to be, and literary agents do not expect you to be part of one if you are hoping to query and get a book deal. That said, having a literary community and a writing community can be immensely valuable if you find the right people and the right group to connect with that jives with your individual creative approach. So to figure out if any type of membership or organization is worth it for you, I would talk to other members. I would see what types of books they are publishing. Are they similar to you? Do you respect them as an author? If not, then that's probably not going to be a good group for you, right? But if you like what they're doing, you like them as a person, then that could be a fruitful group for you. Also, I would try to connect with some members and point blank ask them, have you gotten value out of this membership? Why or why not? What are some of your favorite things about it? Has it gotten you X, Y, and Z? If you are interested in a writing group for a specific aspect, such as connecting with beta readers or critique partners, ask someone who is in the group point blank if they have gotten that out of the program so that you can go in understanding if your expectations will be met or not. That's all we had time for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have a question you'd like to ask, drop it in the comments here and it will be added to my queue. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, download your free story self-assessment, and check out my newsletter in the description below. Thanks so much for watching and happy writing.